Well, welcome back, everybody, to yet another session of our World War II Marvel Superheroes campaign in the Mouth of Madness. I hope everybody had a really good Christmas break. If you haven't been watching the series religiously, I encourage you to seek out the Dreamslayer Studios channel on YouTube so you can see firsthand what has brought us up to this point. And if you like what you see here tonight, as always, please consider supporting us on Patreon. If you're a regular viewer to the channel, we have been on a little bit of a hiatus through the end of this past year, but as of this week, we should be back on track with all three campaigns picking up where we left off. So, for fans of our other campaigns, Marvel Galaxies and our Everyday Heroes campaign, Whispers of Time, they will be back up and running starting this next Tuesday. And then, with all that out of the way, let's get on with the recap for tonight's adventure of In the Mouth of Madness. Last time, our heroes ventured into the bleak Russian mining town of Vladivostok in search of the Russian tooth wheel. The townsfolk here spoke in whispers of nightly terrors, the Kostchi, which are soulless husks of miners long lost to the depths, who now roam the streets under the influence of an evil spirit known as the Shubin. The Reclaimers, our illustrious heroes, learned of a hermit living on the edge of town who unearthed something deep within the mines. Something ancient and unnatural, something that the Reclaimers assume must be a fragment of the Russian tooth wheel. Ever since its discovery, the town has known no peace, and the artifact has brought only darkness to this once thriving mining community. The group's tracking device revealed a little bit of a dilemma. One signal led towards the mines, while the other one pointed to the Hermit's isolated shack. And faced with the choice of seeking out the recluse or braving the haunted mines, the Reclaimers opted for the latter, determined to put an end to the horrors plaguing the town before confronting the Hermit and his piece of the tooth wheel. Descending into the shadowy depths of the mines, the air thick with rot and mildew, they quickly found themselves under siege. The Kostchi, the grotesque, shambling corpses animated by some sort of malevolent power, lurked in the dark, but worse still, our heroes were ambushed by a horde of jaundiced, blind moloids, their clawed hands striking out with unrelenting fury. Ultimately, though, they followed the mournful wails echoing through the tunnels to come face to face with the ghostly Shubin, the guardian of the mine, to retrieve two pieces of the tooth wheel. At this point, they have emerged with 2/3 of the treasure in hand, and now find themselves on the property of the lonely hermit on the outskirts of town, ready to talk him out of the missing piece. I believe we ended last session with the door creaking open to the sound of dogs barking and a shotgun being placed just outside the crack of the door, and in Russian, something like "Get off my lawn."
Dogs barking cannot fly without umbrella.
The shotgun pretty much said all that needed to be said about "get off my lawn."
Yeah. The voice from inside the shack continues, and he says, "You have awoken my dogs, and my dogs shall surely awaken the hounds. If you value your life, go now."
Shelly will step up and give her best USO smile and a little wave, and we're actually here to help.
And as you take a step forward, off in the distance, you have been hearing the dogs inside barking. But off in the distance now, you hear a... It's kind of a howl / growl coming from off in the woods, just somewhere behind the shack.
Okay.
And that's what you were talking about?
Those are the hellhounds.
Oh, goody.
I mean, I feel like we can drive off some dogs or wolves or whatever they are.
Are we both hellhounds?
I mean, if they're on fire, at least maybe it'll be warm.
And as Mr. Arcane says we can drive off some hounds, from around both corners of the shack, you see two large wolf-like hounds that are burning with an interior fire. It's almost like lava is resting somewhere beneath their flesh.
That happens to me every time I eat Indian food.
Well then.
Yeah,
They
that snow
have
effect's
almost
really cool.
like, it almost looks like tattoo-like things on their back haunches, and their tail is actually lit in fire as well.
Good doggy. Nice doggy.
Still certain we could drive off the hounds? Wasn't expecting flaming hounds.
They don't look like the kind that you drive off. Those look like the kind that you send back to, you know, HE double hockey sticks.
All right, so I have your initiative table, of course, up at the top. So Mr. Arcane, so confident in his abilities, is going to be going last, as well as
Oh my god!
Okay, now.
the priest.
Our
Wow.
dice roller's not behaving correctly tonight.
I don't know what you're talking about. It seems fine to me.
Let me roll for Bobby here.
Seems fine to me.
Hey,
Bobby with
good
his
job.
10.
Oh, actually,
He's
Bobby,
straight up.
Bobby goes on yours, so I need to
Oh,
take him
okay.
off of
I was
there.
gonna say, even if he didn't, he is sir not appearing in this fight. Straight up into the snowy sky.
Oh, I love the snow effects.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Johnny.
that's awesome.
I have to, tell my D&D GM he's using the wrong platform.
Yes, sir.
If you haven't noticed, I have your raven on your tokens there as well.
I
Oh,
have
it's so
not
tiny.
noticed. The raven.
He's
where
going to be
is the
teeny
raven?
tiny right next to you.
Oh, okay. I see that
There
there.
you go.
Okay. Interesting. Hmm.
To minimize zoom, for example, hit escape. Hit escape to get zoom out of the way.
What does that character sheet look like? Oh,
He's got
Okay.
a little character sheet there too. How about that?
Aw.
A little bit of information on there for you too. You might find
I
interesting.
see that. Okay.
Tank and Spartan, I guess we need to get you guys to roll initiative there too, please.
Oh, of course.
Interesting.
I'm sorry.
Would you roll again?
It's on the initiative tab. I'll roll for you. It's just a D10. You have a plus
There we go.
something. You have a +2. Spartan has a +2. I have a +0.
All right. Fiend, you got a bonus?
I have a +1.
Bombshell.
Oh, Shelly has a +1 as well.
Oh wow, you're really at the top of the order, aren't you?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the initiative bonuses.
All right.
It's
And-
been longer than our usual 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll
a
bet.
+3 on mine.
And a 1, however, is a 1. So.
Right.
Yes.
Are y'all able to hear me?
Yeah.
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 Okay,
Oh,
just
yeah.
making sure.
That's why I was saying a 1 is a
Gotcha.
1. Can you hear me
Gotcha.
okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Spartan, you're up at the top this time.
I am.
You are.
Looks like Bombshell's up at the top.
And with the appearance
No,
of-
on the initiative order.
on the initiative
Not-
order.
not-
Sorry, yeah.
Not the physical.
Okay.
Um, with those
okay.
hounds making their appearance real quick, the door to the porch goes shut. So Mikhail is not
He's not
visible
gonna
to you
help?
guys at this point.
I'm gonna run over
he's-
to this one and stabby.
All right.
He seemed so neighborly, though.
Also, lives in a wood house. I don't know how long he expected this to work for.
Yeah.
That you need to roll incredible. Do you want to spend karma?
No, thank you, not this time.
Okay, you should be able to roll incredible from the. Yep, obviously
I
you've done it.
did.
All right.
Holy! Well, that's a good start to the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we know where all the dialogue went. Spartan's got it all.
All right.
And that's a edged attack. That could be a kill result.
He is certainly stunned,
Ah,
but not dead. And how much damage does that do? 40?
incredible edge damage. So yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's the bar should have gotten a lot smaller.
That didn't move very much.
All right, so after Spartan, we go to Tank.
I'm gonna roll for extra actions. And I will be spending karma on that roll.
Okay.
My fighting is remarkable. Oh, it's a good thing I chose to spend karma. What do I need to bring that up to a green?
Let's see here. So you're on the
Not
remarkable
much.
table, right?
36. 14. I need 14. So I will spend that. And that means I still get one action since the green is just same. And I will use that one action since it looks like Spartan is at least, poking holes in this one. I'm going to attempt to do a charge and a slam against this one.
Okay. No, you do get 2 actions altogether.
Oh, okay. So my first action is to charge and slam.
Okay.
And so I need to roll by fighting or my endurance for the charge.
Endurance.
Okay. That is incredible. I thought. No, I brought up my strength. My strength used to be incredible. I brought it up to amazing. That's what I did. Okay. So, but I don't get a bonus to that roll, but I will get a damage bonus. I will spend karma on this roll too. I'll just spend the minimum 10. Well, how much do I need? No, way too much to get it up to a yellow.
Okay.
So I'll just spend the minimum 10, make it a hit. And then I was here, so I don't know if that's 2 areas or what.
That would be. Where were you again? Sorry.
Here.
Right here. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. So yeah, I'll give you the 2. All right. So that would. Well, it's going to increase it by 1, so it goes up to amazing.
My strength is already amazing,
No,
but it's still all endurance based.
It's endurance based, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know why I rolled. I
That's
keep
all
forgetting we don't roll damage in this game. It's only been 2 years. Any event, so 50 points of damage.
All right. Okay.
These guys are tough. I'm looking at him like, I was kind of expecting more of a splat.
Yeah, you hit it pretty solid. Maybe not as solid as you wanted to, but it dug its claws into the snowy earth and just went back about 3 inches from that. And he kind of just shakes it off a little bit and is now growling at you.
Yeah, this is a hound or a kitty? It looks kind of like a kitty from the icon, but you're saying it's a hound?
Yeah, it's a hound, yeah.
Yeah, nice doggy. Yeah, good doggy. I'll get you a bone.
All right, Will.
So,
Oh, hold on, sorry. Do you want to take your second action, Tank?
Oh, yes. The second action will just be an overhead smash.
Okay.
I will also spend some karma on this one. That's also going to be just basically fighting. So that starts with incredible. Ooh. I might be able to get that one up to a red. Red for incredible is... Yeah, this 10 points will bring it right up to the red line.
Okay, cool. And that does another 50 points, right?
Yep.
And it is a potential stun. And we're going to roll some endurance. Yep, no stun.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah, so you come smashing down on his noggin, and he goes...
Oh, he thinks you're playing.
I'm gonna tell him to go fetch in a second here.
All right, Will, comes back to you there, sorry.
So both of them are really big, on fire, and still standing.
Yeah.
Will is less confident than he was 30 seconds ago. So he is going to try to power stunt flight for the second time. So I'll spend the 100 and I'll spend karma to see if we can make this happen. Because I would like to go up where dogs can't get me. Okay, so...
I wonder if they breathe fire.
You know what? You can shut your whore mouth.
Wow.
Well,
Don't
no.
give the gem.
I needed to get it to
ideas.
yellow, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so that's not going to happen.
Right.
I will spend that 10, though. And I will activate my Dark Force aura, because I can do that from the ground. And I will bravely move behind Priest.
All right, Bombshell.
She looks over pointedly at Hank.
He's still considering
Locks
the
eyes with him.
situation.
She's going to go electrocute Spartan again, isn't she?
Shield. She points at him. And then she flies over here
To electrocute Spartan.
to stab the hound. She is charging up her blade and slashing it on its flank, hoping to get its attention so it turns away from her.
Right.
So... Oh, it didn't call karma. Oh, we should have done the multiple attack thing. Oh, well.
And how much damage does that do?
That is 80. I believe. Let me double check that. No, I don't have that written down. The power stunted lightning attack that she does unarmed does 80. We don't have... Normally it does incredible damage. So if we're doing the same thing where it's one column shift, then it would go to amazing. Or it's one column shift of over the highest damage. So 80, if we don't have that way.
So we're going with basically the lightning punch kick, but just channeling through the sword, correct?
Right, and we're just making it edge damage instead of
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, you take a slice at its back right haunch, catch it just right above the hip, and it definitely quickly spins around to face the new adversary that snuck up behind him.
Cool. Because I heal better than Spartan. And I owe her one after electrocuting her last time.
And he is going to take advantage of that momentum of whipping around to take a bite out of Bombshell.
Not a bite out of crime. More like a bite out of a crime fighter.
Missed with the first attack. and then it whips its tail at you with its second attack.
Ooh.
Got a yellow to hit on that one.
That's going to hit.
And that is going to do 30 points of blunt damage.
Okay.
And then 30 points of hellfire damage.
Okay.
Now, your cloak can soak the
20.
blunt damage, but
Okay.
it cannot soak the hellfire.
Okay, so then I take 50. So this is not regular fire.
Correct.
It is more like the stuff that burns the soul instead of material things.
Yep.
Okay, so maybe his shack is safe. Also, my coat didn't get melted, so, small blessings.
All right, so the hound that's facing off with Tank is going to take a swipe at you with its front paw.
Oh, I meant to ask you, is there a slam on that tail swipe? Do I need to roll?
Oh, let's see. It did get a yellow, right? So that is,
Yep.
I think, a possible slam. That's right.
Normally it is.
Yes.
I got a green.
All right, so you're back one area. So if you want to take yourself maybe back to here.
Okay. Back here?
Oh, sorry.
Here?
I
I was here originally.
Yeah, about right there.
Oh, a whole area. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Not one square.
Okay, so I think I was clicked on you when I rolled for the hound. So you got a 37. That's a green to hit human Tank with his claw. That does 30 points of slashing damage.
Unless it's some kind of special armor-piercing magical attack, that basically it ends up breaking a couple of claws.
All right. And then with his second attack, he is going to attempt to bite. Got a yellow on that one.
Yeah.
So that again is 30 points of slashing damage, but 30 points of hellfire as well. So the hellfire goes through the arm.
It does protect against energy, according to my original definition.
But not magical.
Okay. Ow.
So that is cutting down
agree.
deep into your soul.
Ow.
Mr. Arcane.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's see.
so minus 30. Hold on, I gotta do some math here.
Question for you, Chris.
Mhm.
Does regeneration heal hellfire damage
Yes.
normally?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so seeing that their flames are
I'm sorry to interrupt. I marked off the hit points on my character sheet, but my bar doesn't seem to be showing it.
I think you did it on the wrong side.
Okay.
There you
That's better. It's a, teacher, you didn't assign us any homework.
go. And don't forget, you can actually, if you go just to your token and right-click, and it pulls up that menu around it, it pulls your health up down there. You can highlight that and just do it right there.
Cool. Okay.
That's usually how I do it, instead of having to open up the character sheet every time I take damage. Little shortcut. All right, sorry about that, Johnny.
No, that's okay. I was actually still looking up the what I was going to try to do because everyone's getting burned by fire. So I was going to try to shield them.
But first, you're going to shield yourself, right?
Well, it's going to be both because I can't say that my magnetic shield would help as much. Okay. Well, I will go ahead and use my magnetism to create a magnetic shield. But then what I'm going to try to do. Well, is that my action, Chris, or can
No,
I do
you
more
can
than
do
one?
that automatically.
Okay, cool. Okay, so then let me also try an entreaty. Because these for sure would probably be chaotic or infernal creatures.
Infernal.
Infernal, yeah, okay. That certainly fits. He'll focus his will for a moment and he'll call out and say, let Agamotto's blinding light uh, blind these creatures. And he'll try and target both creatures. It says it can blind chaotic creatures or characters if the user makes a targeting feat, which is an agility feat. So well, they're pretty far apart though.
I would say if you take a -1 column shift,
okay,
to target both with that,
okay,
I'll allow that.
All right, cool. I will do that. -1. It's an agility. My agility should be remarkable. So I'm going to roll on excellent, and I will spend karma to try and blind them to give these guys and girls some help. Okay, well, I'll spend karma to get that up to green.
Okay.
See, it's going to be like that tonight.
All right, so this one over here. Let's see here. If blind.
Which one? This one? Or sorry, I was clicking away. I was looking for
this one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. So that helped a little bit. And also on excellent. I rolled a 21. So 20. 20 karma.
All right, priest.
I'll go ahead and roll for extra actions, and I'll spend karma on it if need be. How close is that to a yellow? Incredible.
Would get you up to 61.
I'll just take the green then. That gives me +1 action. So, do we have to declare evade or dodge right now, or can we do that before they attack if they attack us?
You can do that, beforehand. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
you can hold on that. Yeah.
Awesome. Can I do an intelligence roll to determine whether or not they seem to have any kind of armor on them? Like skin that's acting as armor?
You can roll a reason.
Yeah, sorry. Playing 5th edition lately.
Right.
Okay, no. All right. Well, I think I will. I'm sorry, Will. I'm gonna be moving out of the way.
Don't worry, I'll follow you.
But I think I'm going to follow suit with Tank and try running up or charging the one that he had hit.
I need to restart Firefox. It's starting to run very sluggish and queuing up a bunch of CPU. So I'll be disconnecting for just a second.
Okay.
15. So that's right at the edge of my. Good. So I think that means I went through 3 areas. Is that right?
I think actually that's probably just 2.
Just 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And do fighting to try and hit.
And we're
well,
back.
are you charging?
Oh yeah, so endurance to try to
Endurance,
hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me 1 second, and I'll spend karma.
There you go.
Oh, I'll bring that up to a red.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure, he rolls a 90. That's cool.
All right, no stun. And your endurance is incredible.
Incredible.
So it'll pop that up to an amazing, because you're still within the second area there. So it does 50 points of damage.
Right. And I will hit it for my next action. Just a regular punch. Oh,
Ooh,
hey,
all right.
cool.
That's one. Keep track of those.
Okay. And that's 40 damage. And then I will take I think I'll take both of my cannons and fire them at the same time at it. So that'll be just one, right? Sorry. No, there we go. All right. Okay. So that if that hits, it's 75 damage.
Ooh, all right.
Jeebus.
All right, so you come running in, with an overhead strike, and then and it just explodes in a burst of fire.
Impressive.
And it lets out a loud howl as it disappears in brimstone and smoke. And then you hear the howl echoing off in the distance as his brother enters the scene.
Oh, hey.
All right, that's not fair.
Them ain't kosher rules.
They keep showing up.
All right, comes back around to Spartan.
Okay, I'm now faced with backside of one. No. Yes,
And it's blinded.
Oh, it's blind. That's the thing. Okay. I'm faced with this, but I'm gonna pokey with a spear.
You're gonna shish kebab.
That's going to be incredible. And do you want to spend karma?
And no.
Okay.
All right, 68.
Well, you didn't need to.
Step by one.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, and then 40 points damage again, right?
Yes. I think so.
Could make a stun though.
That is
Oh,
true.
yeah. Oh, so close. 68.
Also, would she get a column shift because it's blind? That could have made it a red.
It would affect his ability to dodge.
Okay.
Let's see here. So we are now also unconscious.
Oh, likely I moved T forward.
Was he sleepy? Oh,
He is sleepy. All right,
he's
Tank.
sleepy.
Okay. Well, this one is back at full health, apparently.
Yeah, I think you missed out because Priest killed the one, but then his brother showed up.
A new one
in the
showed up.
rear. Yeah.
Okay, well, once again, let's just do a, charge and a wham.
Skadoosh.
I will be spending karma. I need to bring up my character sheet again. And I have incredible fighting. Oh, I forgot that I have martial arts. It makes that amazing. I knew incredible was too low.
Now, so
And
you are less than an area away from that one. So charging probably wouldn't do anyway.
Then
so
I'll
I would
just
probably
make a
go ahead and
normal
do the
fighting attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, my fighting is remarkable, and my martial arts makes it incredible. That's how it worked. Okay, I rolled on the wrong table last time. I am spending karma. I don't think...
You gotta get that to 61 to get it to yellow.
20 points. No, I'll stick to the green.
All right, and
that's just my strength, which is amazing. But I can do a second attack since I still have that roll, correct?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to try to do something a little different, since I have a whole bunch of talents for grappling and so on. Wrestling. Unearthly to hit does amazing damage. I want to basically grab it and kind of do yank it up and smash it down, but it's mostly going to be the wrestling unearthly to grab it and squeeze it, and throwing it down on the ground is just going to be kind of a visual.
You're gonna try turning it in half.
That's a little too brutal for a Golden Age comic. I'm just going to grab it. You know those you know those statues of Hercules feeding his caterpillar. It's going to be one of those. Just grab it, hurl it up, and then slam it down like at the arena in Allentown.
Not Comics Code approved.
Yeah. So
I don't think they invent the power bomb for a few years yet.
Well, I'm a very forward-thinking guy. So that's unearthly, and I'm going to spend karma because I know that if I get over... Whoa, well. Yeah. Okay, and then it does amazing damage.
Okay.
So what does a red grapple actually mean? It's a hold, if I wanted to hold it, but I already said that I was going to be...
slamming
it down.
But I mean, if you want to keep a hold of him as you do that, you could
it could be prevent him charging someone who's a little squishier than me. So that'll be 50 points of damage as he is crushed and slammed, and I've still got a grip on him.
Yep. All right, Will.
Things are going so well. Let's see, where can I hide behind people? I'll move over to here. And while Hank's got a nice grip on this dude over here, I will see if I can bonk him with a big Dark Force boxing glove. Boom. Because it is that era, so.
That is Comics Code approved.
100%.
Yes.
So here we go. I will spend karma. Good thing I did. How much do I need to get it to green?
And the incredible, got to get it to 31. So 11.
Okay. All right. So that will do 37 points of damage.
All right. All right, Bombshell.
Well, this one appears to be unconscious or something. And this one down here is more of a threat. Though it looks like it's kind of been handled. She will get up and shake off the images flooding her mind of her mom crying at the kitchen table and fly up, and then in a dive bomb attack on this one over here. She's got 6 areas of movement, so that should be enough to get a little bit of a height. And then a dramatic downward slashing attack.
All right.
Also charged up, since these are nasty critters. Okay, I keep forgetting to spend karma. It's a good thing I've been rolling okay.
Now, what did you roll there?
46.
No, were you rolling?
That's her. That is her fighting plus weapon mastery with the Kopesh.
Okay. So technically, this would be like a charging attack.
Okay.
But I mean, that I think roll is certainly better than probably what you would be doing if you were just doing a charging attack, even using your
either way, it's still a
ability.
green.
So yeah,
even if it was just unremarkable, it's still a green.
All
so
right. And then that does 80 points of damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be again
that's
probably
gonna
80.
be better for you anyway, I think, regardless. So. All right, so that actually might just do it. All right, he is out, but did not burst into flames.
Okay. And I should heal by 4. And she'll look over at Hank and be like, can you banish these things or something? Or do we just finish them off?
I can try.
I don't know if there's any difference.
And they are both unconscious at the moment.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are we out of initiative then?
It comes actually to you as it
Well,
happens.
that's good. So now that there's a lull, he'll try to focus his will and
Bye. I'm well.
invoke another of the
Focus,
shanty.
Will.
No. Yeah. Damn it, Will. And I guess I probably have to do this one at a time. But he'll turn to one, probably the one that's this one that's closest. And he'll say, well, first of all, Chris, do I have any idea what these creatures are?
I would say fairly certain you can assume that they are infernal creatures. So
okay.
When he said hellhounds, these certainly fit the description of
right.
what you're familiar with. Yes.
Okay. They're not possessing entities, right? Because it left nothing behind over here when Priest blew that one away.
Right.
Okay. So he'll turn and focus on the one that's closest to him, and he'll say, "Let the hoary hosts of Hoggoth drag these creatures back to the hell that they came from." And it says it functions as a banishment spell, and it requires a successful psyche feat that sends the target to another dimension or point in Earth's dimension at my discretion. So I'm going to send them back to, well, I don't know. Well, he's probably a Christian guy, so he would say hell, but that's what I'll try.
Yep.
And psyche. Okay, I'll spend karma on that one. Okay, I'll push that to a yellow.
Okay. As you complete that incantation, all of you feel the ground begin to rumble beneath your feet, and then a pair of tiger claws, green tiger claws, huge, burst from the earth and grab hold of both of the hellhounds and whoosh, begin to drag them down into the earth. And as it does so, the earth then fills itself in, heals itself like it was never actually damaged in the first place. So both of
maybe a little
hellhounds,
steaming, maybe
yeah,
a little steaming dry patch.
A little
maybe?
steaming dry patch of snow. Yeah.
All right, so I rolled a 37. I need
wow.
Okay, so that's 30. Okay. And well, I mean, it took a moment, but we did drive off the hounds.
Yeah, and the frozen
I'll-
tundra goes eerily silent now.
I'll float up into the sky to see if I see any more of these creatures coming.
And looking around, it seems as though the silence that has befallen is free of any fiery hounds.
Okay.
Where's
Brand,
the
you
door
can
over
come
here?
out now.
Is that the door over here?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. Shelly will go up and knock on the door. Putting her sword away.
The door cracks open once again. You see the silhouette of the man inside with the shotgun, but he has it up over his shoulder at this point and not pointed out.
We got rid of the dogs.
You have
The hellhounds.
defeated hellhounds.
Yeah, they're gone.
I must wonder who let the dogs out, though. Sorry.
Shoot a glare over.
You
the
are
tank.
not sorry.
Minus
That's
10
a
karma
lie.
points for that one. No, I won't do that.
You are not
My
sorry.
friends would like to talk to you.
Well,
And
there
then she
is
just
little
walks
I
down
can
here.
do to stop you if you are powerful enough to take away the hellhounds that have been plaguing these woods. There is nothing I can do.
Oh, we also went into the mine and handled the Shubin and the
spirits.
spirits and the what was it? The Shubin and the
Koschy.
Koschki.
Koschy.
Koschki.
So things should get back to normal around here, hopefully.
You have eradicated Koschy.
Yes.
Well, I banished it.
Ooh, ow.
Koschki was the
You kind of see him kind of buckle a little bit, like almost like a weight has been kind of lifted off his shoulders, and now he can barely keep his balance. He catches onto the door frame and he kind of stumbles forward out onto the porch where he sits down, and you can kind of see now he is shedding a single tear as he takes a seat there on the edge of his porch. And he says, as he catches his breath, I have been working this mine since I was 14. I am old man now. I lost one of my boys to the mine. My wife left me soon after. This mine, this town, they are all that I know. It was a few weeks ago when I discovered this, and he opens up his jacket and he pulls out the third piece of the Russian tooth wheel. Deep within the mine, where no gear could be. Look at this, and he hits it on kind of the metal post that is kind of holding up the deck that he's on, and it makes that kind of vibranium sound, that quang kind of sound. This metal is like nothing I've seen before. Trust me, old Mikhail knows his rocks. I've tried everything I know, fire, hammers, saw blades, and more. Nothing can destroy this metal. But something, either down there, now, or a millennium ago, was strong enough to break it. Within the wall of the cave, I saw 2 more pieces, and I know that if I can retrieve them, the Russian government will pay me well for a complete peace. With this money, I can assure that my wife and my other son can live it comfortably, I've not been able to care for them on my meager salary, and all of the money I would gain from this discovery would go to their well-being. But as soon as I removed this piece, the walls of the cave began to shake. A great wail bellowed forth through the cave as though I had awakened Svarog himself. This sound terrified the other workers, and the cave acted as though it would crumble with the sound. As I and my comrades ran from cave, several of them were pulled back into darkness by these smoke creatures, never to be seen again. And at night the town is haunted by the Koschei, but you say that you have defeated them, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Banished those spirits, yes.
This curse that I have set upon the town has been relieved.
I don't know that that's your fault. And then he reaches into his satchel, right? And he pulls out the other two pieces, right? Or the other piece that is the other two pieces.
We do it.
His eyes light up when he sees that you have the other two pieces. And he looks at the piece that's in his hand. And the tear rolls down his face yet again. I do not know what to do. Whatever this is, it is of great value. And my country would pay a great price for the complete piece, but this curse that I bring is directly because of the fact that I pull this piece from the mine. The Koschei come and they look for this piece every night. I wish to see my wife and my son again, but I do not wish to curse my community.
How much would the Russian government pay you for that piece?
I do not know, but it would be a wealthy sum, I am certain.
I feel like, Peggy might have an operating budget.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
If not, I would assume that our other friends who are part of this project also have some money, one of them being a king and all.
And Stark is one of the richest guys alive, I think.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah. It's like we should be able to pull something together for the guy.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You would do this for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why not? You didn't understand what you were doing. I mean, how could you?
Right.
I do not know who you are or where you come from, but I see you carry with you great power. And with that great power, you carry a responsibility.
Oh, that's trademark infringement, my friend.
Yeah, but it's still a Marvel trademark, so you know.
Yeah, we're still in there.
His name roughly translated is Ben Parker.
Well, I think when we remove this, I think whatever affliction is here would go with it. I mean, I'm not certain, but I can certainly determine that. And if there are other spirits, we can, and he looks over his shoulder like, right? Like we can banish them also.
Yeah, we can carve some time out of our schedule to make sure these people are done dealing with ghosts and monsters and stuff for sure.
You couldn't have known. You couldn't possibly have known what you were dealing with. We barely do.
You can assure me you believe that these things will not come in search of this again.
Well,
It seems unlikely.
Well, if
we
they're
can
looking
check
for
on
it,
you too. We can check on you in a little bit.
yeah. Well, if
We
they're
have
looking
ways of
for
getting
it,
around.
we'll have it. So they'll have to come to us, won't they?
And that doesn't work out too well for the bad guys so far.
Well, you have rid this town of the plague that I have brought. So I must hold you at your word. I trust you, and I will give you this peace. I give this to you of my free will with no strings attached. But if you decide to take pity upon me, you know where I live, and it would bring great joy to me to see my wife and child once again.
Yeah, we just need to make contact.
Yeah, what are their names, Mikhail?
Oh.
Shelly pulls out a little note. You know what? You better write it down because I can't write Cyrillic.
Svetlana. And
Okay.
Boris.
Boris. Okay.
And where are they? Do you know?
They were heading towards Moscow, the last I had heard. My wife has family there. I should be able to find them. If they will allow me to find them.
Well, do you intend to go to Moscow then? Or are you hoping for them to come here?
I would hope that I could convince them to come back. But perhaps the damage has been done, and perhaps no amount of money in the world will bring them back.
Well, at least you get to visit with them then. You're not trapped in this hut baby, in this shack babysitting this relic.
Not to give away military secrets or anything, but how accessible is Moscow right now?
I don't know. Mr. Arcane doesn't know.
Internally, I think for folks that are, Russian-born, I'm sure there are some travel restrictions, but with family there in Moscow, she and the boy probably would have had no issues getting in there.
No.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was supposed to say, Will was actually referring to where the German lines were.
Oh, where the German lines were? Yeah, I'd have to actually look that up. I don't know.
Well, they're not in Leningrad.
I know they'll never actually reach Moscow, but they're not too far away from it at one point or another.
But they would have been coming from the European side towards Moscow, yeah?
Yeah.
And we're on the other
We're
side,
on the
yeah.
other side, for sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to get there.
But this, and maybe I kind of glossed over this a little bit, his wife and son left years ago. That's not a recent thing.
Oh, okay.
So when his older son was lost to the mine years ago, that's when they left. So them leaving had nothing to do with him finding the tooth wheel or anything like that. This is an old wound that he's attempting to heal with this prize that he believes that he has found.
Gotcha.
Well, you should at least go find them and visit them. Now that you're free to do so.
But don't leave yet, so that we can try and make sure that you get your payment. Okay?
I would not be able to leave without the money. That is what has prevented me from doing so far.
Can I ask you a favor?
No.
Do you have a bathroom that I can freshen up in?
I have an outhouse.
No, I need.
I mean,
Darn
if you, so
He has a pump on the side of the house that pumps water if you need water.
It's got little icicles coming off of it.
Coming off of it, yeah.
I mean, we can get you to Moscow if you really want to be in Moscow.
We would have to
He
blindfold
turns
you
and
first.
looks at Will.
If you really want to be in Moscow, we can get you there. Or we could just get you money.
Well, you'll get paid regardless.
Yeah, I think.
How quickly could you get me there?
Oh, like
Is
30,
this a bad
40,
idea? No,
30
it's fine.
30, 40 seconds. Do you have a blindfold?
What? I do not understand.
Oh, we're going to be passing through a living nightmare in order to get there.
I have blindfold.
Oh, okay. There you go.
He goes
Shelley,
inside and gets a kerchief.
Shelly, you can be in charge of making him not fall.
Okay.
Any place in particular in Moscow you want to go?
Don't we want to get him paid?
We do.
I mean,
that's true.
Can you send wires to Moscow?
I'm pretty sure the Germans cut those.
I mean,
Well, I'm
just to
sure-
point out, based off of learning about this money thing from Tank when I first got here, isn't he going to need it once he gets to Moscow?
Tank's still teaching you how to play poker, isn't he?
Shelly digs in all of her pockets and finds her the money they gave her for, like expenditures and stuff like that, and she's like, okay, this is what I've got.
Wait, they gave you money?
I think these are Deutschmarks, and I think these might be rubles. I'm not sure, but you can have all this. It's not a lot, I don't think. I honestly have no idea how much it is.
Well, at one point they talked about giving us, what was it, Chris? Like good resources, or they don't. It's not a dollar amount exactly. It's
right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it was either typical or good. Yes.
Oh, did they give me that in addition to my money? Or am I just dragooned?
Yeah. No. You would have gotten access to that as well. Yeah.
okay. Well, how much money do we have access to? I guess is the question. And do we have it, or do we have to go get it?
Well, you have access to carry around cash.
Okay.
So I would say, what if you guys are wanting to kind of donate something to him, so that he has a little bit of spending money to whenever he gets to Moscow, you could certainly do that. You would just need to roll on the. Did we decide it was typical or good? I can't remember.
Buddy, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
I have no recollection
We
of
have
this
really
whatsoever.
not had to use that at all.
We really-
here it is. Okay, so
we really-
resources. Oh yeah, but then that was your starting resources. So
Yeah, my resources are poor personally.
Mine are excellent. I have some money.
I mean, I have good
believe
resources.
Mine
personally.
are. Oh, it almost never comes up. Mine are typical. Spartans are.
amazing.
And yours,
Trying to find
I
it
think
on
that
here
I think
somehow.
that's right, because I was basing that off of what compensation would be basically for the soldiers. So typical would be about right for you guys.
Yeah, I'm not finding Spartans resources on the
Yeah,
character sheet.
we added hers in after the fact. So yeah, I don't think that had anything.
By the way,
for
don't forget
her, so.
that, by the way, that you have remarkable enhanced senses and remarkable tracking. I keep forgetting that you have those out of combat abilities.
So I don't think we necessarily need to roll for this. If you guys are wanting to give him some spending money,
I think we could all kind of like take up a collection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could
And
probably
then
do
just
that.
give him
do
our walking around money.
a single roll here for typical. So, I mean, you're able to get him probably enough spending money for at least to get him started for about a week, of like food and lodging.
Okay. I looked up in like the classic Marvel, and it said good resources is like 40 to 60 grand.
But we're going kind of back in time, so that probably would be considerably less.
Good point.
In this
Yes,
time
you're
period.
right. Yes.
So yeah,
you're right. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, is there a way? Because I feel bad for this poor guy. Can I give him some of my personal resources? I mean, it's never come up, so I don't know, like what I'd have available.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think really what'll have to happen is Will would probably have to go get money, whether it's his money, your money, Peggy's money.
Yeah, good point.
Like, we're in the middle of the Russian wilderness.
Right.
None of us are carrying around rubles.
I brought a bunch of cash.
No, I mean, none of your money's in rubles. None of his money's in rubles.
Right.
I mean, maybe if his holdings are super diversified, maybe, but.
I live in New York. I have dollars.
So you would probably have to go get money, and I would suggest go get money from Peggy.
Absolutely, she has access to more money than us.
And
or Howard, if he's there.
You got that government money.
Right. Well, and it's also we're doing this job. I mean, this is part of the operation.
Howard, give me back my tax money.
So, I mean, and that doesn't have to take too long. I'm sure Peggy's probably got, a safe with some petty cash or whatever sitting in it. But who knows?
Okay. All right. What's our order of operations? Are we going to go get him money and then send him? Or are we just going to give him money and say, see ya?
Probably makes more sense to go get the money and then give it to him and take him to Moscow.
What time is it where Peggy is? She's in France right now, right?
Let's see, where did we leave her? Left her in Egypt last.
Okay, so what time is it in Egypt compared to here?
It's probably, I'd have to guess, about a 9-hour difference, probably, and it's probably a little after dark here. So I would say probably about noon.
Okay, easy enough. I'll be right back. I will go to Egypt.
All right.
To the headquarters.
Okay.
Okay.
I love that. Be right back. Going to Egypt.
I can't really say too much. I'm a guy that turns into an 8-foot-tall metal giant. Some people do that. Some people go to Egypt. It's just the world we live in.
It's a crazy world. Shelly goes over and tries to rinse the goop out of her hair with the icy cold water.
Oh, I can warm the water up for you if you want me to.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Teeth chattering, just like.
Do you want me to roll for that?
No, that's okay. No,
okay, thank you.
That's fine. That was a nice gesture. All right, Will. So you head back to Egypt at the base, the Air Force base that's there. Peggy is working at a desk there as you appear directly right in front of her, and she kind of startles. She's like, "Oh, God, I hate it when you do that."
I thought it was one of my most charming. Anyway, so we found. Do you want me to give you a plausible lie or just tell you what's happening?
Whatever you feel like.
Okay. So Russian guy has a tooth wheel. He start pour life is terrible. We want to give him some money so he can relocate and kind of buy it from him, even though he's just giving it to us.
He's just giving it to you, and yet you still want to pay him?
Yeah.
Aren't you nice?
Aren't we? But we want to use someone else's money.
Want to use your money?
I love the fact that the truth actually sounds like a lie.
I know, right? See, this is why I asked you if you wanted a plausible lie. I was ready to go with like the black market. We were gonna, there's a bidding war and blah blah blah. But I respect you too much for that. Plus, I'm pretty sure you would know I was lying to you.
All right, let's see what kind of rubles we're talking about here.
If you don't have rubles, then tangible goods would probably also work. Something to trade. I'm not sure how well Moscow's doing these days.
Probably not too well. I think this is deep into the Western Front era. The Germans are not particularly on the Western Front, are not doing very well either, but most of the major Russian cities, I believe, are basically besieged. And
I'll say this is during the siege of St. Petersburg, I think.
Yeah.
So
at the time,
we
it
get
was
him a
the siege
16-pack of Charmin, he could be the richest man in Moscow.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can give him a couple canisters of fuel oil, that stuff's gold. Or cash, that works too. I understand nylons are very popular. Oh wait, no, that's the French.
I think a traveler's check in the amount of 536,000 rubles should be sufficient, I believe.
I will bow to your expertise.
That's roughly about $5,000 US.
Okay, I was gonna say, what is that, like $50?
No, you're thinking Turkish. You're thinking Turkish lira.
I mean, the Russian economy under Stalin was not exactly, world class. So
not robust, as the case may be.
yeah, the U.S. really helped them out a lot. But I'm reminded of the old joke that under Gorbachev, they have worked out free. The currency can be converted freely between the ruble, the pound, and the dollar. A pound of rubles is worth $1.
That is correct.
And this is probably in that time period, probably about 10 years' salary for him on his meager salary. So, yeah,
that's awesome.
That'll set him up for a while.
Good. Okay.
Don't spend it all on vodka.
So she writes the check.
That's just racist.
Hands the check over to you, and says, "Just make sure he finds a decent bank to cash this in."
I'll make sure. I think we're going to give him a lift. That should be hilarious. Bye.
Oh dear. All right, so you've made it back now. Check in hand. That took all of about 5 minutes.
Yep. Wall of inky black opens up. Will steps through, whistling. Has to check. Here you go. Pleasure doing business with you.
And he looks at it, and he looks at the ruble amount on there, and his
your thumb's covering some of the zeros. You got to move your thumb.
His knees buckle once again.
Shelly catches him. She was ready.
And he is openly weeping now, and he is running to each one of you and giving you the biggest Russian bear hug that he could possibly get.
I'm sorry, was it not enough? We could go back.
Well, hug him back. Poor guy. Listen, these things are beyond the understanding of most.
And you've done the world a great favor in getting that to us. Just be aware.
Yeah, you couldn't have known.
That is a big deal that you put that in our hands and not somewhere else. We've got to get this locked away.
What you have done for me is going to change my life. I will be forever in your debt.
First, let's get you to Moscow so you can get to a reputable bank to cash it. Or deposit it. Depositing is good.
Hmm. It would suck to get rolled as soon as you walk out of the bank.
Right.
What do you call yourself?
Oh, we're the Reclaimers.
Reclaimers.
Yeah, we work for the Allies.
So you are reclaiming the tooth wheel.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
What is
among
it?
other things.
We're not entirely sure.
You don't know.
We know some things about it. We know that it's old. And actually, if I have the piece, does it like...
Yep, just...
Think,
Yep, and it seals itself.
and it is not, perhaps, of this world.
I knew
Or
that it was special.
Or possibly Atlantis. We're not really sure.
Atlantis?
Yeah.
The...
Turns out that's a thing.
Yeah, I was surprised too.
No, that's... I mean, Atlantis... I mean...
I even met the king of Atlantis, and boy, let me tell you what, that guy is in shape.
You met King of Atlantis.
Yeah, we briefly.
Shelley, you sound crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, is anything that we do not sound crazy?
No.
You just stepped out of a wall of inky blackness to deliver a check.
I would say more of an oval.
Okay, sure.
Is he
The
merman?
flat plane. So...
Kind of. He had little wings on his ankles.
What are wings
They don't
on the
have-
ankles? What good does that do?
I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me either.
And a Speedo. It was kind of ridiculous, honestly.
I mean, he's got very well-defined muscle groups.
Okay, some people have six-pack, whatever. Whatever.
Well, I mean, it's not often you see somebody walking around dressed like that either. It's a bit,
It's indecent, is what it is.
Remind me not to take you to some of the clubs in New York.
I mean, I noticed that the rest of... Well, let's see. No, we only saw just him. But I know stuff about Atlanta. The rest of the Atlanteans don't dress that way.
Okay.
Just for the record, he was peacocking.
Well, I imagine he probably was doing a lot of swimming, and that was probably why.
So do they. Underwater.
But he was very egotistical. He was very arrogant. Not at all becoming of a monarch. I mean, it's probably what you expect.
Have you
but-
met many monarchs? They tend to be pretty egotistical.
Right, but
Pretty
like,
standard.
there's always the ideal, right? And it's like they never seem to match up.
If you meet the king of Atlantis, Mikhail, please don't tell him that we said that about him.
Am I going to meet King of Atlantis when you take me to this nightmare place?
No, I don't think he's
Hopefully
there.
not.
Why? Do you want to?
No.
Oh wait, is that other guy there still?
Which one?
Which other guy?
Didn't you deposit?
Oh,
Krosky or
Strucker?
whatever.
I think
No,
Strucker's
no.
still there, isn't he?
No,
I know.
Strucker's with Peggy.
He got handed
Okay.
off.
All right, yeah, that's right. That's right.
No, the guy that we pulled out of the cave. You banished him to the Dark Force dimension, didn't you?
The Shubin?
Shubin?
Yeah.
No, I banished him.
Yeah. I was about to say, Mr. Arcane got rid of
Oh,
him.
wait. I did.
Yeah.
send him.
You did. You sent him to the Dark Force dimension.
I did. Because I don't, I didn't know where else to put the spirit, so...
That seemed like a good place.
I mean, it may have already eaten him. We don't know. It's probably fine. Let's go.
It didn't seem hungry when I went through it, so
Sure.
Only there for a while.
Is there anything that you need to take with you? I imagine it's going to be hard for you to get back here.
Maybe the shotgun.
I'd bring the shotgun.
He probably brings a shotgun. Yeah, he does go inside and gathers some meager belongings, puts them all kind of in a knapsack that has got the shotgun sticking out the back.
That'll probably help keep you from getting rolled when you walk out of the bank.
So he takes the shotgun into the bank.
He probably is allowed to.
Maybe in
Probably,
Okay.
given the times and the situation, it's probably considered proper attire.
They might give him out for opening an account.
Free shotgun with every new account.
I would open an account at that bank. If there was a bank that was like, hey, free shotgun with every checking account.
Will, have we got any shotguns with opening the safety deposit boxes by chance?
No, I don't bank in the South.
Nice.
I like
They
that.
just keep giving you toasters. You got so many toasters
I have
now.
so many toasters.
All right.
right.
Well, Mikhail is tying the blindfold around his head, and he says, "I'm ready now."
Okay, Shelly's got his arm, just in case. Doesn't want him to fall over or anything.
The Reclaimers, I am forever in your debt. I will think of you daily for what you have done for me.
Aw, thanks, Mikhail.
All right, are we ready?
We are ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. I open up the portal and we're going to Moscow. Red Square.
All right. You go through, and he says, "Oh, it's very cold in Nightmare Place.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Can I?"
That's only because it's trying to eat your life force.
He reaches up to kind of take a peek.
You don't want to do that.
Nope.
No, don't
Get that head down from there. No.
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, it's serious when a Russian admits that it's cold. That's all I'm saying.
I
Right?
mean,
Yeah, it's cold.
that's when you know it's not physical. That's soul cold. That's not physical cold.
All right, and you guys go in, pass through, and end up. He says to get him as close to. Oh, I had it up. Where did I have it? Taretsino Park.
Okay. Do we have any maps?
Yeah, you
Are
got
there
that.
any
you've
you
got-
are
you've
here
got that
things
little-
in
yeah,
Red Square?
Yeah, you've got that little world map thing that they gave you in Wakanda.
Oh, right.
and so, I mean, it doesn't really give you Google Maps, but he can kind of point out the general area there for you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what do you guys do once you get him there? You basically just kind of set him down and give him a little pat on the butt, and
I will.
Yeah.
I will use telepathy and just kind of skim people's brains to see if anybody knows where there's a bank right around here.
yeah, you can certainly do that. And-
Yes, it's highly unethical. That's fine.
and not too far from the park. This is kind of in the middle of the city anyway, so it's a little bit more of an upscale kind of area, and you can send him off in that direction. And he bows and he thanks you once again, and then he kind of trots off in the direction of where the business area is in town.
Oh, goodness.
Well.
That felt wonderful.
Well,
I mean-
hopefully we've given him a new lease.
Yeah. I mean, we've beat a lot of bad guys and secured a lot of relics, but we haven't gotten to see people's lives get better, like right then and there. That felt really good.
Yep.
And for what we've done tonight, I think I gave you karma for the adventure down in the tunnels, right?
Yeah.
For tonight, for defeating the Hellhounds and helping Mikhail out, you get 250 karma points.
Okie dokie.
So now we are at a place where we have to figure out the next step of where we're going. You now have 2 parts, or no, sorry, 3 parts.
Three parts,
of the
yeah.
Of the Eden mechanism.
We still got the Goddard coin to get and the Baghdad battery.
Yep.
And I don't know why, but I have written down Thule Society and Hammer of Scotty. I don't know if that's a thing or not. It had something to do with Strucker.
I don't remember the Hammer of Scotty. The
The
Thule
Hammer of
Society
Scotty,
was
that was like a precursor to Hydra, right?
right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Hydra is the is that one of their sects? Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
It was one of their precursors, right?
Gotcha.
They're at that mountain that you were able to see in his head, but I don't know if we knew exactly how to get to it, but you were able to kind of look through his mind when we were in the dark dimension before.
Well, I know we could go anywhere, but I'd just as soon go to Baghdad first and then wind up back in the good old US of A.
Yeah.
Sure. Hey, you know what? I bet Baghdad's probably warm right now.
Oh, Baghdad is always warm.
I mean, I presume it's a desert, right? I mean, I'm no geography buff.
Yeah, Baghdad is mostly desert. It's pretty fertile with all the flooding from the Tigris and Euphrates, but it's a memorable place. You can pick up some souvenirs there that you don't necessarily know how to get rid of.
Wait, that doesn't sound good.
Just don't touch anything with
Are you
ancient
talking
writing
about
on it.
diseases, or are you talking about possession?
No, I watched all those newsreels about the diseases.
Because for a second there, that sounded like a public service.
Look, as long as you stay away from a couple of the different establishments, you should be fine. They run a clean place there.
You sound like you know a lot about these kinds of places.
I know a lot about Baghdad. I've been there a lot. Why? What were you talking about? Something else?
No, I guess not.
Okay.
I like to make sure that I pay all sorts of underprivileged people. You know, like we just did.
That sounds worse, though, the way you say it.
It probably should, honestly.
Okay. Well,
like it definitely sounds worse.
Yeah.
Wherever we go, I would like it to be someplace that has access to an actual hot shower. Because I still have yellow goop in places that I don't want to talk about.
Oh, I mean, they probably never mind. They have some really nice hotels there.
Good.
Like, are these hourly places now, or do you mean like nightly?
I mean both, honestly, but it depends on what you're looking for.
I don't care if they charge for the water by the gallon. I just need to wash.
Well, yep, that's right.
Both types of places care very much about hygiene and cleanliness.
Yep. Okay, well, do we know a spot in Baghdad? Let me take that back. Obviously, Will knows many spots in Baghdad.
Many spots.
Many spots. Preferably somewhere Comics Code approved is what I would look for in Baghdad. PG?
We'll take them to a legitimate hotel.
Yay.
Sounds really disappointed.
He kind of is.
You can recall in Baghdad a kind of a small little quaint motel that you have visited before called the Mayasan.
Something that's unlikely to attract a lot of attention one way or the other. Okay.
What's it called again? The Maya what?
Hotel Mayasan. Maysan.
Okay.
Which translates as the beautiful hotel.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Sounds harmless. Right?
Sure.
It charges by the day, if that's what you're worried about.
Keeps sounding bad whenever you talk about any of these places. I don't know why.
Oh,
Well, no, let me take that back.
you
I
do.
suspect I know why.
I think you do.
But
Yeah,
but
so
okay.
so we he opens up the gateway in the alley behind the hotel. We all step out and are probably immediately sweltering as the clothes we wore in Russia are no longer appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh, we've made a terrible mistake.
This wool coat has to go.
So the Hotel Myosin is kind of a small 3-story hotel. Kind of runs pretty narrow next to the street right here. You can see it with blue tint on top right here. There's a set of a kind of a grand staircase that leads up to the entrance that's on actually the 2nd floor. And you all can go in. You have your translator devices and can speak freely to the attendant behind the desk. He's a man of kind of deep olive skin with a thin goatee, like mustache that it doesn't come to a full beard at all, but just long kind of mustache that runs down the sides, and a little fez cap. Tall, thin, and he welcomes you as you come in. Welcome. How may I be of service?
We need some rooms. How many vacancies do you have?
How many of you are there?
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah.
And how many rooms?
Oh. Shelly just looks over at Hank.
Well, the comics code says we should have 6 rooms.
I guess.
Where did that big symbol come from? Just right over my mouth.
It would be proper to have 6 rooms. Proper.
We are a little overbooked for that.
Can you do 5?
I could spare 2.
Oh.
Okay. But we can
The girls in the other.
roll in 2 cots for the gentlemen.
Sure. We can make that work.
Each of the rooms comes with 2 beds. And we will make arrangements for the other beds to be brought to your room. How long will you be staying with us?
Let's
Probably
go
not
with,
long.
I was going to say let's go with 3 days, but we may extend or we may check out early.
3 days, yes. Well, make yourselves comfortable in the lounge, and we will let you know when the rooms are ready.
Okay.
Can we do like an intuition check just to make sure that we feel like he's on the up and up?
Sure.
I think he is.
This guy's
He
great.
seems totally legit, yeah.
Salt of the earth.
No way is he going out back to call the group of assassins to come and kill us all.
Is this
That
the
would
same
be-
guy who's been at this hotel when I've been here before or no?
Make a reason, Pete.
Sure. I think. Sorry, buried under too many things. There we go.
Okay, yeah, you've been here enough times, and you definitely recognize him. Actually, you can probably even recall his name as I'm in.
Okay. Have I ever had any issues before?
No, not at all. I mean, he's been cordial. He's
Okay.
a little abrupt and to the point most of the time. He will take care of what your needs are, but he doesn't really, flourish a lot of extra, stuff
Right.
on top of it. You've had enough experience to know that if you need information about anything going on in the town or whatever, he will give it to you, but for a price. You are a foreigner, and he does not really trust foreigners, but if you dangle enough cash his way, he'll let loose some secrets from time to time.
Okay.
And your experience with that is they're not always 100% reliable.
Okay.
But about 50-50, yeah, 50% of the time, he's...
50% of the time, it works 100% of the time.
Of the time, yeah.
So somebody who's good for general info, probably not super fluid situations.
Well, maybe, you've probably had experiences both ways on that, where he's actually been dead on for, just general information, but if you needed something a little bit more on the down low, every once in a while he comes through on something like that as well. But half the time he's talking out of his ass.
Okay. Everybody else, you guys go ahead and get settled in. I'm going to get some clothes that will actually make us not die. And then see if any of my contacts are in town that could maybe help us.
Cool. Now, when you say clothes that will make us not die, do you mean stuff that means we won't swelter to death, or stuff that looks like locals?
Yes.
Okay. Good to know. Shelly will perch on the chair in the lounge and swelter.
Okay. All right, so Will, you're going out to kind of to get some basic, kind of clothing and so forth. Some.
Now, if I recall correctly, at this point, Egypt was basically controlled by England.
We're not in Egypt. We're in.
We're Iraq.
Oh.
Iraq,
well, never mind then. I thought we were in Egypt.
Which I believe is still pretty heavily British controlled at this time.
It is, but there's probably much lower chances of me being able to actually get a drink.
Oh, would it be okay to say that I've gotten, at some point in our travels, a big overcoat that I can at least put over myself so I don't have a giant cross on my chest?
Yeah, I thought we had come up with something, hadn't we?
We had the satanic cult cloak when we went to the Hellfire Club. But,
can't you use your coloration to just change it to solid color or something?
That's a great idea. There we go.
Although I'm not sure that the big metal pauldrons with the fucking cannons sticking out of them are much more discreet,
Well,
to be honest.
The cannons are not out at the moment.
Oh, they're retracted.
Those
okay.
are retractable, yeah.
So
they're
huge metal pauldrons.
They're actually manifestable. They're not a part of the.
Oh,
the
they don't
art.
retract. They just appear.
Yeah, they're power.
Okay.
They're an actual.
Oh, okay. There's some weird tech going on there. Fancy.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm blending. I'm totally blending.
They don't suspect a thing.
He steps behind Shelly, so all you can see is two giant metal pauldrons.
That's right.
Will, where are you? Where I need to hide behind you?
I can now I'm just picturing the form and shape of the armor, but then like you've colored it like flesh tone in some areas, and then like overalls.
You're saying he's dressed
just
himself
this
like
big bulky.
he's dressed himself like a minion?
I look like the Mario brother from if he was in Minecraft. Or I'm a Lego person. So
Is he trying to fit in?
He's just trying to figure out exactly, how to disguise himself a little bit. Yeah.
Let me help out.
While Will is picking up clothing, he will kind of, on the down low, check to see if either Benny, his thief contact, or Louis, his smuggler contact, are in or around Baghdad right now.
Okay, now Benny was the guy that was in Egypt, correct?
He was previously in Egypt, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
And then who was the other guy?
Louis, he is a pre-French smuggler who kind of operates throughout the Mediterranean.
And wasn't he the guy that was trying to help you get to Wakanda initially?
I think last we had him in Italy a couple weeks ago. I could be wrong, though.
No, I think he was driving you guys to Wakanda, and then you guys bamfed out of there and disappeared. So you kind of left him out, like, well, I don't know where the fuck they went.
What happened?
He did a great job. He got us exactly as far as we needed to go.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I will try to help Priest out, and I'll try to cast an illusion over him to, let's see, well, hide the armor. I mean, it won't like change the armor. It'll just make it look. It'll just make it look like clothes.
Either that, or you can just do one of those things where people just don't notice him.
Well,
let me
not with this.
Let me put this out there for you, because we've had to deal with this and him before.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if perhaps you might be able to use your magics on an item, like a pendant or something like that he could don.
Okay.
And basically imbue that ability on him so that you don't have to work the magic and concentrate on it all the time, because really it takes your concentration to be able to keep that going.
Well, there is a power source one. Or I think it's actually called imbue. Let me find it. Oh. I think that was in that other book.
That's right. I'm going to let you look for that, and while you're doing that, let me go back to Will here.
Energy source, maybe? I think it's energy source is how it's called.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead. Y'all go ahead and I'll figure that out.
All right. So, Will, your two contacts, number one, in this time period, it's going to be a little bit hard to try to kind of get a hold of somebody like that. You can't just necessarily pick up a phone and call them unless you know for sure they are at a particular location. You probably...
Yeah, no, I assumed it was more asking around if anyone had seen them.
And you kind of know the little haunts and so forth where these guys would probably hang out as you're going through and buying, the bits and pieces of the clothes for everyone. You get the feel that both of those guys, neither one of them are here at this point.
Okay.
So that portion is maybe a little bit lost. But if you want to make... take a look here. Make a roll on your popularity, and then I think you've got...
I actually have popularity. I'll spend karma.
Detective espionage as well.
Yes, I do.
And that is remarkable, so go ahead and roll on the remarkable column.
Okay. Spending karma.
Good thing.
Good thing. Is that 11 again?
Let's see here on the remarkable. Gotta get it up to a 31. Yep.
Okay. There we go. Now I have greed.
So you do go to a local tavern here where Benny usually can be found. Asking around, you kind of know the bartender well enough, and the bartender, knows, your relationship with Benny. And, because Benny is also kind of one of those guys that deals with things that are, maybe not on the up and up, bartender kind of knows that world pretty well, too. And he says, if you're looking for Benny, you must be here looking for something else. Is that safe to assume?
That's always safe to assume.
There is a man that I don't think that you have met as of yet. His name is Narid Yusuf. He is a Yusuf.
Okay.
He is a member of the Thieves Guild here.
Okay.
So beware with him.
Yeah.
But if you are looking for something that needs a little, that comes with a little bit of, that little cash, he would probably be able to put you in the right direction.
That will be very useful, thank you. I'll look him up.
You are staying at your usual place, yeah?
Yeah, pretty full today now.
The alley next to the hotel.
Yeah.
There is a well in the alley. He and his men, that is their meeting place. But do be careful if you approach. They will be defending their territory if you come in too hard.
Understood. I will slide him a little bit extra and thank him for his help.
Am I overhearing this conversation? I'm not sure where we are relative to it.
I think that Will went off on his own.
Okay.
To do that.
Okay.
So,
well, I was going to say, well, good. Don't worry. I am the most subtle of.
The human tank is subtle with 3 Ds.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you want to do with that information then, Will?
With that information and the clothing, I will go back to the rest of the group and distribute clothing so that they stop sweating.
Okay.
And let them know that there is a contact in the Thieves Guild, meets in the alley right outside of here, that we can lean on if we need to get any kind of quiet information about the Baghdad battery that we can't come up with the equipment that we have. Just always good to have other options in case we need them.
And on that note, since you're mentioning the rest of the equipment that you have, I assume that you were probably kind of checking to see if you're getting any pings.
Oh yes.
On that, and where you are right now, you're really not getting any pings.
It's definitely supposed to be here, but that's troubling. Like no pings at all, as in just nothing.
You have found that you have got to be within several miles of the location. So you are within Baghdad now, but Baghdad's a big place, right, for sure. And I think it's about a 15-mile radius, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Do we have any knowledge of the history of the item?
The Baghdad battery?
Yeah.
I'm relatively certain Will and probably Mr. Arcade know a fair amount about it.
I would assume so too. But then you might know where it was last seen?
I mean, I can See what I know?
Let's say Scholar of Antiquities roll. I'll
I
spend
imagine
karma
at some
'cause that
point
would
it
just
was
be-
in a museum, right?
I'm gonna spend karma because that would just be embarrassing.
Me too.
There we go.
Oh, hello.
Hey, there you go.
Sometimes the dice behave themselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do that.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, I'll push
well-
that to green, but
It's Baghdad. It's Will's spot, clearly.
So, Will, I mean, you know probably everything there is to kind of know about this, as far as like the history of it. Maybe not the more arcane side of what this thing is and does. But the Baghdad battery actually was discovered very recently in 1936 in Kajut Rabu, Iraq. So not too far from Baghdad itself. The piece was brought into Baghdad for study, and that is quite possibly really kind of how it got its actual name, simply because Baghdad basically claimed it after its discovery. The origin and purpose that the scientists here in Baghdad were able to determine was really pretty unclear. The director of the National Museum of Iraq suggested that the object functioned as a galvanic cell, possibly used for electroplating or some kind of electrotherapy. But in contrary to that, there's really no electroplated object known from the period that this would have been made from, which would have been about somewhere around 150 to 223 AD. I'm sorry, 150 BC to 233 AD.
It's like, great theory, except they didn't have any electroplated items.
Right. An alternative explanation is that it functioned as a storage vessel for sacred scrolls. With what you guys now are kind of finding out about these items, it's very likely that they are completely wrong on every account with this. But based off of the knowledge that they have, and not looking at this as an arcane artifact and looking at it just as a potential scientific creation of that time period, that's about the best that they have been able to come up with. So it was known to be at the National Museum of Iraq, and your knowledge of the area here in Baghdad is you are certainly within range of that for this to be pinging you in that direction. And it is not.
Well, if that's the last place we know where it was, then maybe we... Do you have contacts at the museum, or do they not like you there?
I think they like me. I think they like me.
I mean, I just don't know how many of
Do
their
they?
special items have
It's like I'm
found
not
their way into your private
I'm not
collection.
wanted currently in Iraq, am I?
I don't think so. Make a, I don't know, make it popularity.
Oh, no.
Now that you ask,
Appropriately, I'll spend karma.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
You can spend
You're
your
a
10.
person of interest, would have not been charged formally.
Perfectly fine. That means the same thing. It's always good to be interesting.
The guy that you know at the museum actually is German.
Okay.
His name is Wilhelm Koenig.
And where do his political loyalties lie?
On the other side, like
that-
the,
Oh.
the okay side. Yeah, you're
Okay.
you're good with this guy. Yeah.
Is there's a reason he's not back home.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably the best bet is for us to go visit the museum and see what's going on.
Well, I'm gonna get clean and changed.
Sure, everyone should get changed.
Just glare over at
Yes.
the proprietor of the inn.
On that,
Like, he's kept us waiting here in the freaking lobby for.
Oh, why aren't you in your rooms?
on that
Good
topic,
question. Apparently, they had to go handcraft the cots.
Iman, why are
I think honestly, by the time that Will gets back,
Okay.
they would have prepped the rooms. But
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
on that topic, I guess maybe out of sight, maybe in the alley or whatever, because we certainly don't want Clanky here walking through the lobby. So it looks like I can use the spell enchantment to store spells in an object, kind of like you were describing. And I could store an illusion, actually either in his armor, because it's not sentient. I suppose.
It's not.
Okay.
He's wearing a Terminator.
Yeah. And
Quiet, you.
Yeah, I could store the illusion spell in there, and it will last an hour at a time, and it just needs to be triggered once an hour, I think.
Okay.
I've never used that power, literally in any Marvel game, but I think that works.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I think that works.
So I'll
Does that
send
work
Karma
for
to
you,
make-
Mark?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
I mean, either we do that or we spend every session trying to figure out how to keep you from freaking everyone out everywhere.
Right.
And so it will look like whatever you want it to look like, I guess, an hour at a time. And I guess, Chris, you and I can kind of double check and make sure that sounds right, power-wise. But let me make a roll here, and I'll spend karma to make that happen. Hopefully. What are we gonna do? Remarkable, I guess. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, that sounds good. So what I would say, Mark, is just make a note on your sheet. Essentially, this is going to be like a kind of an extra power, but it would be kind of a simple disguise spell.
Like it would be limited, right? Just to making your armor look like whatever else you want it to look like.
And it would be at the remarkable level. So it's basically casting an illusion over top of the armor to give you the appearance of regular clothing. It's not going to make you look like somebody else, but it's just going to make you fit in. So anybody, though, that has the ability to see through illusions would be rolling against the remarkable column to be able to see through that illusion and see you for what you really are. Okay.
Cool.
But you also have to say that you're activating it. So just make note of that. I'm activating it now, and it goes for an hour, and then at the end of an hour, if you still need it, you've got to reactivate it. Okay. Let's take a quick breather for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and then make our way to the museum. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Dreamslayer Studios presents a wide selection of live tabletop role-playing game campaigns, specializing in fresh new independent games like Tales from the Loop and the Great American Novel, as well as traditional games such as the original Marvel Superheroes RPG by TSR and Savage Worlds. Our Game Master works hand in hand with the players to create one-of-a-kind original stories that are jam-packed with intense battles and in-depth character development that rely on creative and collaborative communal storytelling. So, if you're in the mood for something a little different than the typical Dungeons & Dragons fan, look no further than Dreamslayer Studios' RPG podcast. Available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and anywhere you consume your live play RPGs.
Okay, so we were going to head to the museum, the Historical Museum of Iraq, I believe, is what we were. Where
Can
we
I
were going.
interject with one thing real quick?
Uh-huh.
And I think hopefully this would be a short conversation,
Mhm.
but I think it's something that Priest would be interested in asking Hank while Hank is working on the enchantment that he's doing.
Sure.
So he's kind of watching you and what you're doing. He says, Hank, not to pry into business, it's not my own, but some of the dossiers I had were more complete than others, and I'm just curious, how did you come to know what you know?
Well, hard work and study. My master taught me some. I taught myself a little bit more, maybe a bit more over the past few months. But typically in my circles, there's a master and an apprentice, and or a master and several apprentices. And I guess you would say the master of our discipline is the ancient one, which we met, right? So he is the leader of our group, for lack of a better word, here. And so, knowledge is passed down. Some of it's discovered, some of it's improvisation like this, because Hector never taught me any of this, I'll tell you that. How to enchant, bionic armor to change its appearance, or at least give the illusion of a change. So some of this energy is mine. In this case, not very much of this is mine. I'm tapping into other forces, but not extra dimensional forces, right? This is energy I'm kind of gathering from, it depends on who you ask. Various places, places of power. I carry a reservoir of power within me, as many, adepts are taught early on. And I'm imbuing some of that into this receptacle, right? Your armor. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, I think that it does. It at least gives me a little bit more of your background. I was just curious. Like I said, to be honest with you, when what I was given told me that you had magical abilities, I just assumed that you had abilities more in line with what I was used to, and that was just how it had been interpreted. But over the time, obviously being around you, I have been led to believe otherwise. I just was curious as to what your origin story was, essentially.
I happened upon. Well, does anyone happen upon anything, right? I would, at the time, I thought it's a coincidence, but I went to work for a bookseller, right? who I tended shop. I, kept the books. I cleaned up. And one day he asked me to run this errand for him. And lo and behold, it wasn't as well. I suppose every errand is simple depending on who you are. For me, it was life-changing, and opened I guess you would say it opened my third eye, I suppose, among the practitioners. That was my first brush with the supernatural that I was aware of. And I survived. That's probably a tale for another time, but I survived and was moderately successful. I retrieved the item I was asked to retrieve, which was one of the lesser books of the Vishanti. which is, perhaps why, maybe it's why they listen, or at least don't stop me when I borrow their power, right? That's how that works for us. Some of this is mine, some of this belongs to the world, and I just move it around, and some of it I borrow from somewhere else. And so far, no one's upset about it, but one has to be careful. The forces that I have channeled so far have at least an understanding of who I am, or at least they don't mind. And our goals so far sort of align with theirs. But were I to ask someone not very friendly, or let's say I asked the Vishanti to do something against their kind of will, their ethos, which, I mean, how do you understand that, right? They might as well be gods. They're so alien. But I have an understanding of what I think is their code, I guess. And so far, I've not been denied, and I've not been punished. But that is a risk every time. So I hope that I don't know if that was the answer you were looking for.
No, thank you. I appreciate you sharing. And thank you for He Pats His Armor for doing this.
Well, you're welcome. Now we'll have to maintain it, right? I'll have to keep an eye on it. It's possible that other forces could dispel it, could drain it. Environmental things could happen. But I'll keep an eye on it, and it'll be pretty obvious when it doesn't work. So
thank you.
Just be careful. Or if it becomes self-aware. I suppose that's the thing.
Thank you, sir.
Where were we? We were heading to
the museum.
Museum.
I activate my armor to look like something that blends in on the way to the museum.
I wouldn't get too fancy. Like, pick that guy. Copy his outfit.
All right, so the National Museum of Iraq is an elegant structure. It stands as a beacon of learning and cultural preservation amidst the modernizing landscape of the city. It was built fairly recently, back in the 1920s, and continued to expand in the 1930s. And the design kind of reflects a blend of Islamic architectural influences and British colonial style, with arched windows, shaded courtyards, and a grand entrance framed by intricately carved wooden doors. Inside, the museum is dimly lit by oil lamps and sunlight filtering through latticed screens. Creates kind of a warm but mysterious ambience. You can smell the scent of ancient stone, aged wood, and faintly musty air permeating the hallway, and it mingles with an occasional whiff of ink or parchment from researchers' desks. You will know that you can normally find your contact Wilhelm in the Great Hall of Antiquities, which is kind of the centerpiece of the museum. And it's dominated by towering statues of Mesopotamian deities and kings, their solemn faces gazing into eternity. There are stone reliefs from the Assyrian places of Nimrud and I'm gonna say this wrong. I can never pronounce this right, but it's like heaven backwards. But Nivea, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Ninvea line the walls, depicting scenes of lion hunts, divine processions, and battles. Each carving is meticulously labeled through, though some of the tags have faded with time, leaving their stories shrouded in mystery. But you see Wilhelm speaking with a couple of the security guards there in the hall, and you catch his eye, and he nods at you politely, holds his hand up, finishes his conversation, and then he approaches you and the rest of your group.
So the security guards finally found out that you actually supplied this place through the bottom of Cracker Jack boxes, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Wagner. Always filling me with your wit.
Doctor, thank you, Wilhelm.
No, thank you. What brings you to me tonight?
I was interested in taking a look at one of your exhibits, but I haven't been able to put my eyes on it. The Baghdad Battery? My understanding is that it was on display here.
Well, as luck would have it, you're much too late.
Wilhelm, you wound me.
It doesn't
And
sound
after
very
I
lucky.
got you that nice carving the last time I was in the area.
What, pray tell, would you be looking for the battery for?
Scientific research.
Oh, of course. But the timing seems to be rather inconvenient.
Well, if it's not here, it's very inconvenient for me, yes.
Oh, very inconvenient for us as well, because it was stolen from us.
Oh, when?
3 days ago. This is why we have such a heightened bit of security here. We believe members of the Thieves Guild have come in and stolen this particular item from us. Now, the thieves normally leave us alone.
Yeah, that's awful bold for them, isn't it?
Most of the things that we have in here can be easily traced, and we have had this battery for some time. Certainly it has some monetary value, but it is not something that we would think would have been stolen. So we did not keep it in our higher security areas. It was protected, yeah, but apparently not protected well enough, for it has been taken from us.
3 days. Will's racking his brain. 3 days ago, we were doing what?
You guys probably would have been getting back from Rome and heading back into Egypt to meet with Peggy.
So and when was the last time we slept?
You've had some time.
Sleep is for the weak.
No, I mean after getting rid of the necessary plane trips and jumping now it's like go.
Good point.
Sleep when you're dead.
Right.
Okay. So the Thieves Guild came and took it.
That is what we must assume, yes. There were individuals of Arabian descent dressed in the manner that is most commonly associated with the Thieves Guild here in Baghdad that were spotted around the building at the time of the disappearance of the battery.
Can we perhaps see where it was presented before, like where it was on exhibit?
Yeah. I will show you. And you are? I do not believe I know.
Oh, I'm
you.
sorry. I'm Hank. I'm a friend of his, an associate friend, colleague.
He's a scholar of occult traditions.
Well, I don't know what that would have to do with the battery, but you never cease to surprise me, Herr Wagner.
You're still mad about that time I jumped out and scared you in front of the Board of Trustees, aren't you?
I would prefer that we not talk about that.
Understood, okay.
So he does lead you guys to another area, into the cuneiform library. It's a small but significant room that houses an extensive collection of clay tablets inscribed with cuneiform script. Scribes' prayers, royal decrees, the famed Epic of Gilgamesh are among the treasures that are stored here. Shelves of leather-bound volumes and notes from international scholars' expeditions are scattered about, along with the occasional forgotten pipe or coffee cup that's just sitting out on the tables here. In the center of the room, there are a series of pedestals, each of which are covered with like a glass kind of cube. And inside there are some of the items, the aforementioned items that I was talking about. And one of them has been recently replaced, and it has nothing in it right now, just a kind of a like a glass kind of easel at the bottom that basically looks like a cradle almost, that would have been holding the Baghdad battery. This is where it was located, as you can see. These, and he walks up to one of the other glass boxes and grabs it on either side and just picks it straight up. As you can see, we have no alarms, no nothing on these particular items, because really there would be no inklings that someone would be interested in taking such a thing, and we have good enough security, at least we thought, that would be able to avoid an item such as this being taken from us. But apparently we are learning our lesson.
Doesn't make sense for the Thieves Guild to steal the Baghdad battery. There's no place they could fence it. It's not inherently worth anything unless someone hired them to do it. So that means
that's what I was thinking, and I think we know who may have been, footing the bill.
Yeah.
Were they being paid in kraut bucks?
I don't think they would take
Watch
marks.
your
They
language,
probably
please.
gold.
That sounds.
Sorry.
I don't think they would take Deutschmarks. They're probably being paid in gold.
Yeah.
Okay, so he takes us to the exhibit, like pedestal, and
He showed you where the pedestal
what was it on?
Yeah. You stepped away for a moment, but yeah, it was basically in kind of a like a glass cradle.
Okay.
And the cradle is still there. The box there's a new box there because either they broke it or whatever, but he takes the box off and shows you the cradle where it was.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to try something. I don't know if it will work, but there is a power. And I was reading the occult, Realms of the Occult, that supplement that you talked about, Chris.
Yep.
And so I really like those extra rules in there, and it gives me I always feel like I'm cheating a little bit, like, oh, I'll try this, I'll try that, I'll try this. But there's a finite amount, right, based on how much magic you have. So I'm going to try it's basically object reading. It's called Grammar or Grammary.
Grammari, yeah. Yeah, I always thought Grammari just actually referred to a spell book, and that's grimoire.
Yeah. No. So it's so basically I can learn some information from an item with a successful spell rank feat. Base is you learn the purpose and how to use it. Next, you may with a second feat you may read psychic impressions left behind by the last person who handled it, which may very well be Wilhelm, but I'm just trying to see if I can get some sort of impression about what happened here. So I don't know how successful that'll be, but that's what I'm going to try to do.
Okay.
Now, if it's along the same school of thought as me, which would be order, I get +2. If it's not, it's -1. If it's hostile, it's -2. So I'll roll whatever, and then you adjust, or you can tell me. I don't know. We can adjust accordingly.
Okay.
But regardless, I'll think.
Tell me what your ultimate goal is once again.
I'm trying to find out who removed the item.
Gotcha.
Really, that's what I want to find out.
Yep.
I mean, I know it's a display, it's here to hold it, it's, whatever, but I want to know, who came and took it away.
So is this like psychometry or post-cognition?
Yes,
Okay.
essentially, yes.
So you're seeing what happened here in this space.
I'm reading a psychic impression left behind.
Okay.
Which, I mean, yes, is this, sort of the same thing, but
Right.
it's not time-based, it's impression. So anyway,
You might have to touch do you have to touch it?
Well, it says item, so maybe. I mean, it's I'm just trying something.
I think that would probably help, and I think your limited experience in at least watching someone else do this,
right?
It certainly helps to have a tangible item to actually hold on to. So,
so anyway, I'll roll on remarkable unless you want me to roll somewhere else and then do the math afterwards, or I don't know if you want it to be a mystery. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, go ahead and make a roll just with the, I think, base magic. I think.
And I will spend karma. Okay. All right, so I'll spend that up to a yellow, or I'll spend it up to a yellow.
Okay. All right. So you take the little cradle in your hands. You close your eyes and you begin to start the entreaty. And those of you that are watching him see little flakes of greenish, like almost glitter, kind of coming off of this cradle. And Arcane takes a deep breath, and the glitter is inhaled into his nostrils. And his eyes open up, and you see a flash of green. And then, Mr. Arcane, we go into your vision.
Oh, okay.
Shelly kind of steps behind him, ready to catch him in case he does one of those. Oh, I'm leaving my body.
So your vision begins, Mr. Arcane, in an oppressive void, a landscape drenched in an unnatural twilight. Time and space just begin to twist into surreal impossibilities, and the air pulses with an audible, maddening thrum. Vroom. Vroom. Your vision blurs and then sharpens intermittently, as though reality itself can't hold steady under the weight of what is being revealed to you. From the shadows emerges a figure. And this is a figure that you recognize. And it is a figure that has a distinct connection to the Reclaimers. One that you have not seen before, but one that is responsible for one of the items that you have collected in your travels before the name the Reclaimers came about. This man is fabled as the Mad Arab, Abdul al-Hazared, the author of the Necronomicon.
Oh, no.
You see this man, his presence, both spectral and uncomfortably real. His robes are tattered and stained, fluttering unnaturally in a wind that doesn't exist. In his eyes, there are orbs of swirling chaos, reflecting unspeakable truths and horrors. In his hands, he cradles the Baghdad battery, and it's wrapped in leather and glistening with a sickly, pulsing sheen. It almost seems alive as Alhazred's lips begin to move. His words bypass your ear entirely and searing themselves directly into your mind. The veil is the thinnest, where time was born. With the spark of ancients, the slumbering gods shall stir. And your vision now shifts violently, plunging you into a dimly lit chamber beneath the sands of an ancient tomb. Broken stone pillars rise like the great beast, encasing a pedestal upon which rests the Baghdad battery. Its clay interior cracked and oozing faintly a glowing ichor, and the symbols etched in forgotten alphabets crawl across its surface as though it's alive. Alhazred appears again, now beside the battery, his form distorted and flickering like an incomplete memory. His voice rises in a chant, in a language that's ancient and inhuman. The battery begins to spark, arcs of unnatural electricity leaping from it and striking the surrounding walls. The chamber begins to quake, and a deep, resonant groan echoes, as if the earth itself is in agony. Through the cracks on the stone floor, an impossible darkness begins to seep upward, alive and writhing. Tentacles of shadow slither toward you, their movements defying reason as a presence beyond comprehension begins to manifest. You can't see it fully, and your mind rebels at the very attempt, but glimpses pierce your psyche. Cyclopean structures, maelstroms of cosmic light, and yawning maw of infinite teeth. The air around you turns cold, and yet your skin burns. Whispers of uncountable voices drown your thoughts, all of them repeating a single phrase. You are the key, as I was. Flee if you can, but the wheel turns ever onward. And with that, I think we'll leave that as a nice little cliffhanger. For you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.